mean, I knew about guns in New York, but everybody I knew,
They
weren't supposed to have a gun. Let's put it like that.
Most New Yorkers don't. I mean, if I didn't go into the police department, I wouldn't have known. The first time I touched a firearm was when I went into Marine Corps.
People and people, welcome to my channel. This is Paul from the Backwoods Jamaican. I'm here, privileged to have interviewed a retired NYPD who's here living in Pennsylvania. He took the time to give me some knowledge, to give me some wisdom, to give me some things where I'm just like, man, I wish I knew that. Like, I wish I knew that before. I'm honestly just grateful to be able to give some of that wisdom to you. Stay tuned, watch the thing. Boot it!
We always practice safety, so we always make sure that there's no magazine in, no rounds. I checked every one of these firearms now. 1911s today come with ambidextrous safeties. For years, they only came with right-handed safety. So I never bought a 1911
because you're a lefty.
Coming out.
You're a lefty.
And the first one, I don't even have it here right now, is a Springfield Army Marine Corps operator. When I walked in the store, the guy knew me. He says, "John, we got a 1911 for you, the Marine Corps operator." So I had to buy it. So, and it had an ambidextrous safety. This one has a grip safety, has a manual safety. What you do is, when you want to fire it, this is what you call cocked and locked. And so the gun is cocked, and you have a safety on and a round in the chamber. And what you would do is when you draw the gun, you would bring it up, automatically drop the safety, and squeeze the trigger. This one looks exactly like this one, except different colors, right? There's a difference though. This is a 45 ACP. This is 9mm.
9mm.
Some of the old timers say, that's not right. You're not supposed to have 1911 and 45, but
it started with the 9mm first.
No, it started with 45.
45.
It's always been 45, but the last few years they finally developed it and perfected 1911 and 9mm. It is a lot of fun to shoot, and it's a lot cheaper. 9mm is a lot cheaper. Not as much recoil. First time I fired it was when I was in the Marine Corps boot camp, and I was a Bronx boy, skinny, 135 pounds, never fired a gun in my hand, and gave us a class how to break it down and everything, how to clean it. Then we went on the range, put in my my left hand. The guy said, "No, you can't shoot it like that. With his right hand, you got to do it with right hand." I got the gun off, but it went, every time I went off, it just a boom. I don't know what the rounds were. I emptied the magazine. The guy says, "Okay, you're good. Next." And that's how I qualified. I didn't even qualify. But for another 20 years, I didn't touch a 1911. So it wasn't until years later when I was working
20
at the
years.
range.
Wow.
Probably more than 20 years. But
because it took them about 20 years to have the ambidextrous.
This is fairly new, maybe about 20 years now.
Wow.
The ambidextrous safeties. Now this is a 22.
What model is this? It says what?
That's a Smith & Wesson Victory.
It's a Smith & Wesson Victory.
Now 22s, you got to handle them a little gentler. Now on these you can't dry fire. The hammer, it goes forward, just hits against the frame, and you can break it. So with these guns, you can dry fire all day. But 22s, you never dry fire 22.
Any 22.
Rifles or handguns.
Any 22.
So just to be safe, pointed at the black there. You can see that front sight right away.
Does it come like this? This is how it came?
Yeah, it comes with a fiber optic sight. And that green, just when you're outside, just pops. So you bring it out, you have no problem shooting it.
Obviously, we're both from New York. I'm just now learning about guns. I mean, I knew about guns in New York, but everybody I knew, they weren't supposed to have a gun. Let's put it like that.
Most New Yorkers don't. I mean, if I didn't go into the police department, I wouldn't have known. The first time I touched a firearm was when I went into Marine Corps. And I didn't do much with handguns, and I was an average shooter. When I went to the range, I qualified, but I never shot 100. And but after 11 years on patrol, I decided let me go get off the streets for a while. So an old boss helped me get into the range. He told me, "You should come to the range." I told him, I'm not a gun guy. I don't know anything about it. He says, "You'll learn." I read every lesson plan, everything. I listened to some of the old timers, an old Sergeant John Worrell, who was he knew everything about guns, the history. And I used to go to, when they had firearms instructors class, even though I had been there for a few years, I would go walking on the class just to listen to him.
Obviously, Pennsylvania is a little bit different. I would say moving to Pennsylvania gave me a lot of, because like everybody's carrying or knows about guns or has a gun.
You just got to remember that Pennsylvania is a free state, and so it's easier to buy a handgun. But just because you buy a firearm doesn't mean you know anything about firearms. A lot of these guys that I talk to that have been here for years, have been shooting, hunting, and everything. They only know about the rifle they have, and maybe some ammunition or something like that, and that's all they want to know. You know?
So what do you think a guy should know, like me? Because maybe I fall in that group.
Yeah,
What do you think I should know to be better?
You should take your rifle to the range, especially at the beginning of the season, before it gets too cold, so you can sight it in.
Yeah.
But learn everything about your firearm. You know, and what kind of calibers you can use. What's the best caliber for hunting? You know, you could go on YouTube, or you could just study. It's probably better on YouTube. You can listen to other hunters and listen to what they use for stuff. Now, you might end up buying another rifle after that. I mean, you probably will buy another rifle. Yeah. Depending on what you're going to go after.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the handguns. You got some revolvers.
This is an old service revolver. Now, this one belonged to my cousin. He's passed away now. He left me his guns. This is the Smith & Wesson revolver, M&P Model 10, Military and Police.
Is that what M&P means?
Yeah.
Military and Police.
Yeah.
I learned something new today.
When I bought mine, this exactly the same gun I bought. I have it upstairs, but it's no longer. It doesn't look like this anymore. I had it built up a few years ago for PPC shooting, competition shooting, and it's got a big 6-inch barrel with an iron slab on top. So when you shoot 38 wad cutter out of it, instead of 38 special, wad cutter is just a bullet where the lead just comes up to the top of the shell. A regular 38 bullet is 158 grains, and the wad cutter is 148 grains. So there's less powder in it, so you get less recoil. So in competition, when you shoot it out of a gun that's weighted in the front, it just goes like pop, 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 pop.
So you're pretty good at shooting.
Well, not anymore. Things really changed as I got
older.
Well,
I'll say this. When we went shooting before, you were shooting better than me.
Well, yeah, but you just learned.
You were shooting way better than me.
I mean, every year I take a course, either a combat course. Last year I took a red dot sight course. You know, I was almost ashamed of myself, you know, compared to something. There was a woman over there that could outshoot me at anything.
Wow.
Glock came to... was it 88, maybe 87 he came, and we started training with the Glocks, and then we decided, okay, New York City Police Department's going to get it. It came with an 8-pound trigger pull, 5-pound trigger pull, and a 3-pound trigger pull. And no one asked me. Had they, I would have said, let's go with the 8-pound trigger squeeze, because Smith & Wesson M&P Model 10 revolvers had a 13-pound trigger squeeze.
So that just make it more difficult to squeeze.
Try it.
This is how many pounds?
13.
13.
Which slowly, but it's a heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy.
This is an older one. When you get one brand new, it doesn't feel as smooth as this one does.
That's 13 compared to what's the Glock?
This one has like a 4.5-pound trigger squeeze on it now,
which makes it easier.
Oh yeah, it's a lot lighter. But like I said, most cops are not shooters, and they never practice. When I taught the recruits. And I'd have a class of like 200 people in the auditorium, and I tell them, you come here once a year to qualify, and once a year in the indoor range in the wintertime, you shoot 50 rounds, not even a qualification course. Yeah. It's like a day off for you. I said, go out on your own, go with a couple of friends, make it a day, and practice shooting.
Practice shooting.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing now because of what's going on out there. All the bad guys know how to shoot now, so...
I got a friend who just became a police officer, NYPD.
In New York?
Yeah. And he said he had a great qualification, I guess, shooting. He said his instructor said he could shoot very good. And he's never touched a gun before.
Well, you have to train yourself that when you bring it up, that red's right in front of you. So what you do is you look at your target, and it's downrange. And when you bring your gun up, you just put the red dot on it, and then squeeze. And then you got to practice trigger control. Because, you know, if you say, okay, I got the dot on it, now! Well, that movement, that's what causes falling. So remember I told you about right-handed shooters shooting low left? Well, that's because they're looking at it, they're squeezing, and they go, ow! You know, you're talking to the gun. What you do is you bring it up, you put the dot right where you want it. You're not looking, and you got to shoot with both eyes open. So that's the one thing. I close my right eye right away. It's just force of habit. But like I said, it's a learning curve. But I get out there, and I just as soon as I put it up, I see that red dot, put the red dot on it, and squeeze. And your mission every time you cock it is to make that red dot doesn't move from that spot after you squeeze it to you. If you see it, you know, right-handed shooters will go this way, left-handed shooters go the other way. So a lot of dry firing. If you could do 10, 15 minutes a day for a week, and you go to the range the next week, you'll see the difference.
Well, you got a nice little arsenal here, man.
Let me show you
this. Let's look at the long guns.
Now, this one is a Ruger 1022.
22, which means it shoots 22,
shoots 22
cartridges.
Yeah, but Ruger...
Caliber, I should say.
Ruger invented the Ruger 1022, and it sold millions of rifles.
Why is it called a 1022? Is it that holds 10 rounds?
Yeah, they hold 10 rounds.
They hold 10 rounds.
They hold 10-round magazines.
Okay.
Now, this one's a special stock I bought. I must have 4 of these rifles upstairs.
Same one?
No, this is the only takedown I have. They come in wood. The original one came in wood. Whenever you hear someone talk about 1022, you say anyone that owns a firearm collection should have a Ruger 1022 in it, because you can't go wrong with it. It's the best rifle to train the children with.
Yeah.
There's hardly any recoil at all.
Yeah.
I had a problem with the beaded front sight, so I changed the sights. I didn't change it on this one. I changed it on some of the other guns. I couldn't see the beaded sight anymore. This one I put the scope on.
Yeah.
But I mean, 50 yards, you get a group that'll fit the inside of that tube. It's just a lot of fun to shoot. Well, you can shoot 500 rounds in an hour, you know, and not feel tired. So they're just a lot of fun to shoot.
I saw a video yesterday, actually. My friend sent it to me. It was a comedy. It was funny. And the guy was like, after an hour of shooting, I want to go home, but some of these guys, man, they want to shoot for 3-4 hours. What do you tell somebody who's like, what's the point of shooting all them rounds? What? I know it's fun, but what's the point of shooting?
It's just fun, you know. You could do it. I shot machine guns in the Marine Corps. It wasn't my job, but sometimes I got a chance to get behind a machine gun. And one round, you're aiming at a target 300 or 400 yards away. Yeah. One round will be here. 5 yards away will be the second round. Yeah. It's not an accurate way of shooting. It's not accurate. So it's not worth it for me. And to wait. Now they say it's a little quicker, but I said, that's what you told me the last time. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that too, because the anti-gun people think, oh, everybody loves the machine, the automatic, and we just want to shoot and kill everybody.
You don't see anybody with machine guns. They always talk about that. Now the thing is with the AR-15, as quickly as you squeeze the trigger, that's how fast it goes.
Because it's a semi-automatic.
It's a semi-automatic, but it's just like any other semi-automatic. Yeah. Even this thing, I mean, you could go beep, 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 beep. It's a blinking toy.
Yeah. That's a nice gun. Yeah.
Let me show you something else now. I always want to be a cowboy, even though I lived in New York City, right? So I'm going to show you what it looks like now.
I think I know what you're going to pull out.
This is the Colt Single Action Army.
That's a beautiful gun.
Stag grips. At the time when it came, it cost me $1,700. I didn't have the money. I put it on the credit card. It must take me a year to pay it off. I don't shoot this gun anymore now because this is going to go to my son. You load 1 round in the chamber. You skip a round, skip a chamber, and you load 4 more. So how many rounds is that now?
5.
5 rounds in there. Yeah. And the reason for that is to load the hammer now, you have to cock it all the way. You see the cylinder move? Squeeze the trigger and ride the hammer forward. And now the hammer's sitting on an empty chamber. Because this gun is made the same way it was made in the old days. So that's why today you could buy replicas. Ruger makes a real good replica of single action armies. Uberti is an Italian company that makes them. And you could load 6 rounds in the gun. Because they put a safety bar in here. But these guns don't have the safety bars. They're made the old way. So if you drop this thing, first of all, you probably break the hammer. Yeah. But it'll go off if it's around in front of the firing pin.
Wow. I've never held a revolver other than you showing me this before. This is a beautiful gun. Colt Single Action Army. So it's a 45.
Yep, 45 long Colt.
Wow.
So it makes the it's a little longer than this.
Do you even aim? I guess you do. You have to aim, but it's
have to cock the hammer and then you can see. You can look through the notch.
You look through this notch here.
I shot it for a while, and then so many people were telling me, "You actually shoot this thing?"
Yeah.
And I was practicing so much with it that I broke it. And,
so I can't touch this gun with my hands.
Nope. I carried this gun when I worked narcotics. It was worn down, shot up, and everything. And I'm watching a show on TV called The Gunfather. So I called them up and they said, yeah, send it to me. So I sent them the gun. And they took it completely apart. I mean, every little, he had it all on the table. Well, don't cock it, don't squeeze the trigger, please.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The Rambling Colt, they called it. Well, that's a 6-shot gun.
Small little gun.
Yep. That's why I carried off duty when I worked narcotics and just went inside a belly band or something. I was more accurate with that gun than I was with a 4-inch gun. Wow. It just fit me just right.
You know what I like about talking to you is that I'm learning from somebody who's been not just shooting for 5 years, 10 years. But you've been shooting for a long time. You've been in the academy, police department. You've been the Marines, firearms instructor, and all that good stuff. And so I feel, at least when I hear you talk, I know, okay, he's not gonna gonna be BSing me. I learned a lot, and as always, learning from you. Even talking at church. Okay, maybe that should be a last question. What would you say to somebody who thinks Christians shouldn't be into firearms and stuff like that?
There's nothing wrong with it. It's a sport.
Yeah.
God wants you to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to defend your family.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to find. We're not going out robbing anybody.
Yeah.
We're not killing. We don't want to kill anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
If you're being robbed, you're not shooting to kill. When we train people, we train for them to shoot the largest target.
Yep.
And they say, isn't that where your heart and lungs and everything? Aren't you basically killing the guy?
Yeah.
It's no, we're shooting to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the guy dies in the hit, that's something that happens when you pick the wrong job.
Yeah.
His occupation was doing this.
Yeah, I understand.
You have to be able to defend yourself.
I agree. I appreciate that. So
let's just show you.
What are you showing me?
The things
trophies. Yeah, let's look at them.